Hello and welcome to another Your Questions at Digital DJ Tips. And our question today is going to be really useful to you if you have a traditional DJ setup, you're a vinyl fan or you've used CDJs for a long time and you've got this kind of setup, a couple of these and a mixer, whatever, and you want to get involved in digital. You want to use the existing gear that you have to do digital DJing, to start off with a laptop. I'm going to talk through one of our members' requests, and then this will hopefully help you get some ideas if you're wanting to do the same thing. So this is the letter that we had from Angel, and he says, I decided to take my Technics 1200s out of the box once again. Long-time vinyl fan, but I'd like to transition to digital. A friend of mine has given me MixVibes Cross DJ software, so that's one of the software programs that you can use, and some timecode vinyl. But now I want a sound card that won't break the bank, something under $100. So let's rewind and let's talk through what he's got and what he needs, and then this will hopefully help you if you're thinking about doing this. So our friend has already got his software. He's using software called MixVibes, but there's other software out there. We'll talk about that at the end. And he's also got timecode vinyl. This is timecode vinyl. It looks like normal vinyl, looks like a normal 12-inch, but you pop it onto your turntable. And if you played that through this system now, it would sound terrible. The reason is that it's got computer code on it. And this is what happens. You buy one of these, which is called a sound card, which is what the letter was asking about. And this goes here between the inputs to your mixer from your CDJs or from your vinyl. They plug into one set of the inputs on here. And then the other set, the outputs, plug where they would have been. So this basically sits at the back of your mixer, and the other end goes into your laptop, and that's where the cleverness happens. So your laptop now knows what's going on with these computer coded vinyls, and because of that you can use this to control your two pieces of music on your laptop, and you use your gear just like you always did. The mixers just used the way you've always used it, and so on. So it's exactly the same on the CDJs, by the way. You just get a timecode CD that plugs in here, and then you can just control it in exactly the same way. So that's how it works. It's called digital vinyl, which is a little bit misleading because this is a CD player, obviously. So another way of referring to it is time code, because the code on the record tells the software how far through the tune you are, the timing. So that's the principle. So let's answer Angel's question specifically, and then we'll broaden it out. So he wants a cheap sound card. He wants a cheap device, as I just showed you, to plug in and make it all work. Now the good thing with MixVibes is that this particular type of software doesn't care what kind of sound card you use, as long as it's got 4 inputs and 4 outputs. So if you think about it, each of these has got 2 inputs, left and right. So there's 4 mono inputs. As long as it's got 4 ins and 4 outs, you can plug it between the mixer and your 2 input sources. Works fine. You can use any sound card out there that does that. And the trouble with sound cards is that they're generally made for people who produce music in studios, and they have microphone inputs and phantom power and all these kind of controls on them, and they're big boxes, and they're overkill. The DJs don't need that stuff, and the price tag is similar. Now the one I just showed you from MixVibes is under $100. There are other ones out there that are under $100. I've listed them in the article that accompanies this video over on Digital DJ Tips, and there's a link underneath. They're actually quite hard to find nowadays, although, so you probably have to look a little bit beyond Amazon, but you will find them if you Google the names, and some people will have them in stock. So that's one way of doing it with MixVibes, and for Angel, that's his solution. But if you're thinking of doing this from scratch and you don't have software and you don't have timecode vinyl, it gets a little bit harder, because when you add up the price of buying this stuff, and then the price of buying the software, and then the price of buying the sound card that will make it all work, actually, it doesn't make sense to do it all separately. For instance, this is a box. It's called a Serato box in kind of slang, but actually it's an audio interface just like the one we looked at. It's for Serato. It's got the 4 inputs and the 4 outputs. It plugs in the back there, and this costs about $500 with the control time code, with the software and so on. So it's way out of your league, Angel. But if you're looking at getting into Serato, this was always the cheapest way. There's a new one from Denon, the DS1, that's just coming out at the time of recording this video, which takes the price down about $70–80 because that's $300, and then you have to pay another $130 for the software on top. So if you wanted to get into doing it with Serato, that's a good way. With Traktor, this is a high-end Traktor audio interface which has got enough room to plug 4 sets of turntables into it. But with Traktor, their systems are actually a little bit better value. You can get going in Traktor for about $300 or €300, and they'll sell you the Traktor A6, which is the audio interface, the timecode, and the software. So that's actually the cheapest way of getting going, I think, with mainstream software at the moment. Virtual DJ will work with anything, but the trouble there is the software itself is quite expensive. So if you're thinking of getting involved in DVS, timecode DJing, there are your options. If you've got any questions about this, please ask them underneath the video or over on the post on Digital DJ Tips. And if you've got a question you'd like to ask, then head over to the Digital DJ Tips forum. We answer every question there, and the very best ones we make into videos each week. Finally, of course, if you have enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel.